6 o'clock.
Oh, right.
I'm here, Tom's here, Marty here, Meg's here, Barb's here, Ricky's here, and Jim is here. At this point, is there anything for public comment this evening? Nothing for public comment. Just a reminder for you fine individuals and our audience. We have our budget work session this Saturday, starting off at 8 a.m. I'm wonderful to be around first thing in the morning, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So please be here.
Oh, he was an early morning person.
I'm not.
No, he's not. Wait.
Just a state of mind.
So he's so used to having late hours when he was.
Just a state of mind.
He's.
So,
You
yeah,
get the
so-
wanderlust, huh?
I'll have coffee.
Yes, that's a good one.
So, please be reminded to come with your materials, and we're gonna get going and really try not to dilly-dally around. So, next item that I want to bring up is Jim had put forth just some notes on the extension of the Cold War Veterans exemption. You're working on this for the county as well, right, Jim?
Right there.
Can you give just kind of a thumbnail sketch?
Sure. This is something that's at the state level, and we have the option to take it up or not to take it up. It would be an exemption for veterans who were in the Cold War. And the town passed this law, Town of Plattsburgh. It was local law number 3 back in 2008. And the former administration has said that, I believe it was to run out in a 10-year period, and we have the option of extending it if we wish to. I'm not trying to editorialize, I don't think it would make a huge difference in terms of revenue to the town of Plattsburgh. So, I know that Tom has expressed some concerns about exemptions.
Oh, I did the first time.
Yeah, and I have the same concerns as you do, but I think this is this seems to be, as far as I can tell, a very minor. It would have a very minor impact on these veterans.
It's
So not on
a
the
principle.
veterans thing.
It's a principle. If we keep giving these to everyone.
Yeah.
I understand people who can't afford things. I understand people who are disabled. But we're talking about just anybody, and they have 2 incomes. So, generally speaking, they've got their service income and they've got another job, and they've had another job, or they're retired. So from 2 jobs. So actually, they're much better off than many of the people that have to pay the taxes that we have in the town of Plattsburgh. So that's why I'm principally against it.
Well, I think that could be true, although they probably weren't in a hot war. They did serve, and I think that the purpose of law, whether you agree or not, is to maybe some payback or respect due to people who did serve in the service. Today, as we know, there are very few people going to the armed service, I think 1% or something like that. So,
Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, we would, because this is a town law, and even though it really is an extension, we would still need to have a public hearing,
yes, you
et cetera. So my intent, just so you folks know, is I'm going to prepare the resolution to bring forward, to move forward, and Tom, I think you and I have tended with some of these to, maybe you don't even agree to disagree with me, maybe you just disagree. But minimally bring it forward because it's an extension of something that's already on the books. I minimally would like to hear if anybody comes up for a public comment on it. It's very unlikely. We don't usually have people come, but then we can make a determination from there. So,
Yeah,
sure.
Some of the things, though, we don't bring up, and you just put them in, so appreciate that. But I really feel that this is not something that we want to get into on a regular basis, and I said the same thing in 2000.
yeah. And that's why I say I'm looking at it from a different perspective. This is really already on the books in many respects. This isn't going that far with the record. Yes.
I would like to ask Jim, you may or may not know, what period this covers?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask me.
Because it seems to me that there might be some overlap with the Vietnam War.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm sure, I'll have to take a look at this section, I'm sure it's the statutory figure, but certainly be sometime, I would think almost like the 50s and 60s, something like that.
It seems to me like the veterans of the Vietnam War deserved it, you know, in that respect. But
Well, I think these were kind of
this
maybe,
is not,
It's kind of an.
this is people in the gap, sort of
it's
between
not,
World
yeah,
War.
it's in the gap, it's not one of the wars where it was quite as bad as,
If I can make in the outline, it talks about there may or may not be a 10-year limitation on the exemption. In what's being proposed, do we know whether that has the 10-year limitation or not?
Whether how long this could go?
yeah.
Rather than give you bad information, I'll check that out and also check the time out. I think it's just I think it's just a 10-year extension. Anyways, I think there's a 10-year limit on it. I think it was limited, and they passed this law that extended that for an additional 10 years. And probably the end of 10 years it will end. That would be my thought.
Okay. So in this document, it says that that provision, that a town passing a local law can either put that provision in or not put that provision in. So that's why I was asking the question.
Well, at least my understanding of sort of the overriding issue is, it is currently, some towns have passed local laws, some have not. We are one that have. It's coming to the end, and the state is now saying, if you wish to, you can extend it for an additional 10 years.
And just to be clear too, there is a timetable of which this needs to be addressed by. So
Okay, there is.
it's approaching around December. I mean, so-
December 10th, I guess.
Is it?
yeah.
Okay.
So we have to move on it, yeah.
Okay.
So again, more conversation, just wanted to, have Jim present some stuff, and if you have questions, concerns, reach out to him, and then, but I anticipate in the next couple of meetings that we'll have a resolution to move forward, which will then set public hearing, and then so on and so forth, okay?
Okay.
So, this is a follow-up to the conversations that I had about the LWRP as it related to the Cliff Haven Jetties property area, and the interest between the American Legion and myself to try to create kind of a group that would talk about the possibilities of seeing that property utilized in the way that we had hoped. You had just kind of invoked the Vietnam War, actually, Tom, and one of the things that they hope to do is to, on that property somewhere, maybe designate, identify, it's really still kind of open now, the Vietnam War, too, which I think would be very appropriate. And interestingly enough, I had the privilege to speak at the Battle of Valcour commemoration ceremony last night at Community College, and the Saranac chapter of the DAR was talking about Valcour Island, and we ended up talking about the importance and the history of obviously Valcour and then Crab Island, and there really is kind of that triangle of history there, and it would be nice to find a way to capture some of that. So, looking to get this MOU moving forward so we can assemble a group to, again, try to make the most of this. So, and just because it's worth saying twice, budget hearing, Saturday. Okay.
Got all of
8 o'clock. All right. In your drafts, there are draft minutes, monthly reports. There's also the setting for the public hearing for the budget and official salaries and the preliminary budget. As I've said before, in working through the tentative budget, particularly with the elected officials, I would put it forward, and then if anyone wants to make recommendations to change the tentative budget, they can do that, or through this resolution here. So keep that in mind. There is a disposal of surplus printer, 3% site plan deposit, There's an RFP for consultants to develop the smart growth plan. It's important to acknowledge that that is part of the comprehensive land use plan that we are looking for. Smart growth was some of the language that was wrapped into this, I think it was the CFA grant that we applied for. So we are mirroring language for our comprehensive land use plan, okay? So trying to get that moving forward. The comprehensive land use plan is in the budget. We are hoping that we will also secure some of the funding for it, if not all of it though, through the CFA. And we are also looking to utilize a portion of the Clean Energy Community Grant to supplement that as well. So really, there's a couple things going on here, but we don't want to wait until, December 31st to start moving on some stuff. It will also involve a resolution to appoint a committee, pulling off some individuals for that as well. And then the last is a consolidated water district budget amendment, and that's all that I have. Tried to keep tonight a little bit lighter, from a more generic standpoint, with our budget work session meeting on Saturday.
I forgot.
8
Is it
o'clock.
what Saturday is it?
This Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh, this
That would be the
Saturday.
14th.
Darn, I was gonna be gone.
8 o'clock.
Yes.
8 o'clock.
AM.
Yes,
We're
Marty?
having that conference in Glens Falls.
We have a potential resolution in there for Primax properties.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, it seems to be, we had a resolution number 17243,
Yeah.
okay, which is in our prior minutes being approved. And in those minutes, there was $4,525, which was to be released. And then in this resolution, there's $5,355,
I will double check.
okay? So,
There's 2 stores though.
pardon?
There's 2 stores. What, is it Route 9 or Beattyville?
Route 3.
Both are, Ricky's right. The one on 17243 is Route 9,
Right.
and this one is Route
Route
3.
Yeah, there's 2.
Okay,
There's 2
two different stores.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And typically the resolutions for the site plan tend to, in concert, be generated with the departments, so that, with planning, so.
Yeah, okay, excuse me.
Barb, you had said that you wanted to note something.
Yeah, I put my arrow in committee reports, it's not going to take very long, but,
Yeah.
I think we all like to make sure we provide some feedback for departments when they are introducing new tools or resources that make things more efficient. Tom and I obviously are on the liaison for the planning committee, and we meet with Trevor and Melina. What was introduced, and I think it's part of our discussions that we've had, is when they present information to us, you want to kind of be able to have it organized and kind of be able to follow it. And what they did is they now have their design review subdivision projects in a nice spreadsheet, and it's organized by the project name, the status change, date anything was updated, so we can actually go through that pretty well, that workflow process pretty easily to be able to. So what we're trying to do is make those meetings, concise and keep them under a certain amount of time, but I think that's kudos to the department for thinking about ways to streamline, again, how they give information even to Tom and me. So I just wanted to introduce that I thought that was, Tom, did you have anything to
No,
share?
it's streamlined in a sense, but it's also very easy to
Yes.
keep track of.
User-friendly.
Maybe a little bit even more than the more detailed.
So-
And we still have access to those more detailed opinions.
Because there's a lot of activity going on, and wrap your mind around what's going on, the inventory. So we look for the inventory of activity, and I think this helps Tom and I do that well.
I would agree.
Better, I should say, not well, but better. Okay.
Well, hopefully somehow.
Anything else?
I have an idea for our meetings going forward. We could try to do, instead of a roll call after every resolution, just to do all in favor.
Oh, I, name, kind of thing?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just getting engaged, and usually when I ask for, any type of vote, there's like a 9-minute pause, so.
That's why I think it might trim some seconds off.
You're more than welcome to start making those motions if you would like.
Okay.
The last thing I would,
We'd have to make a motion on each one, maybe?
you wouldn't have to.
Instead of Ricky having to say all of our names, you could just
You
say
could just say
all
all
in
in
favor.
favor.
You could say.
I see, and then we would just make a motion if we wanted it to be.
Well, sometimes
The
you
roll call.
can switch, you could say, somebody could demand, if there is controversy, just I want a roll call.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I can hear Tom now.
But, yeah, but,
As long as
I did
we had a roll call, it,
but
we're all
Meg is
set.
saying for 95%.
What a matter
We're all
of,
the same.
matter of record. I want a roll call.
Okay, we'll try it at the next meeting, and we'll see how well it works. How's that?
Well,
Aye.
As they once said, like a well-oiled sandpit. Okay, last thing that I just wanted to share is the water department is slowly starting to engage tomorrow, putting water back in the Katie's water tank. So.
Yes.
I would say
um,
they're not doing anything slowly these days. Stuff is getting done.
Yeah,
It's great.
we're cranking on it. I mean, it's, the tank is beautiful, it's painted, it's, so,
so now do they have time to do another one while they're waiting?
no more tanks this year,
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
I thought it was, weather was warm, maybe,
yeah.
You're begging to run into it. We had a frost last night.
Yeah,
And
so,
I'm sure they had more frost in
oh,
Katyville.
then they do, yes.
We had more.
yes, we are done with the tanks, so, all right,
Still pretty-
on that note,
Okay.
For this year.
seeing, yes, for this year. Anything else? Seeing nothing else before me, I certainly don't have a need to go into an executive session. We will end tonight at 6:17 PM.